one example of something that Michael reminded me of in terms of like a touchstone or a touch point, I was thinking of Forge's buttons, and giving out buttons at Pride Fest and other events. And I remember being in my early teens volunteering with Forge, like early in my own transition, doing that and making buttons. And but also, doing that in past years, it reminds me of how all these conversations get started with people who just are passing through, but we're making that people love the buttons, and we're making that connection with people who then want to know about what these different terms mean, and are able to display some pride about their identity in maybe very specific terms that don't usually get recognized. So that was one thing that Michael reminded me of in terms of connection.
That is such a great example, Caleb, because you're right. People love the buttons. People love being able to make their own buttons, create their own identity and experience by being able to, draw and write on them. And you're right, it creates like an opening to a conversation, especially for folks that have difficulty starting conversations. And, it's an amazing tool that's just so simple. It's a little 1-inch round thing, right? That makes us get all excited and want to connect with each other.
The buttons also are both empowerment and connection, because people, when we're doing make it yourself buttons, people often say, can I blah, blah, blah. And we're like, yes, you can do whatever you want. And there are some things that come through and, we might kind of think, that's not that appropriate, but we do it, we send it out, people are delighted. And it does provide a connection, because they've drawn or written whatever they've done, and we've handled it and given it back to them. And so it's a literal connection as well as literal empowerment. And I think people, when we keep going to the same places year after year with the buttons, people wouldn't necessarily remember Forge and what Forge does, but they remember Forge buttons for sure.
And this gets me so freaking excited because, there's just energy that comes with people making buttons. And again, it's that tendril to trauma, it's the tendril to transness. And Loree, like what you just said, we have people that are designing their own buttons, and you know what? They put swear words on them, they draw body parts on them, and we do not bat an eye at it, right? We welcome their creativity. We do not say, oh my God, what does your mother think about that? When mom is standing 2 feet away, but like we embrace who they are and what they want to express. And that is connecting and healing and empowering. And it's beautiful. It's so simple, but it's beautiful. So thank you, Caleb, for starting that thread. Really beautiful.